Okay. And so let's talk about the struggle bus, right? So, and I think, and the struggle is real right now. And we're getting a lot of messages. I'm listening to a lot of people talk about the struggle right now. And I think a lot of it has to do, there's a few things right now, is the way the world is right now, right? Yeah. You've got the thing, the war going on in Ukraine and Russia. And, you know, I have a fantastic colleague that I adore, you know, in Russia, and one that I adore in the Ukraine. The gal in the Ukraine is actually our distributor, Oksana. And, you know, it's hard to watch. It's scary. It just breaks your heart, right? And I think a lot of, you know, so you've got that going on. You've got, you know, the economy, you know, they're talking that we're heading into a recession. That scares people. We just got out of a pandemic, you know, where all our lives were completely uprooted and changed. So we, you know, get out of a pandemic, and, you know, we think we're heading into, you know, more normalcy now. And then, you know, everything going on all over the world and the economy, and, you know, moms can't eat, you know, are having difficult times even getting, you know, formula. That's causing, you know, anxiety. There's just a lot. It just feels heavy to me right now. Does it feel heavy to you, Olivia? Like the world, does it, and Willow, does it feel heavy to you guys? Like, wow.
Yeah, it feels kind of scary.
It's scary, right? It feels scary. And I think I think the younger you are, the more scary it feels, because I think, you know, young people haven't been through a lot of this heaviness, right, in their lives, where, you know, older people, you know, people in their 50s, 60s, even 70s and 80s, they've been through more than one war. You know, Vietnam War and the Gulf Coast War and, you know, Afghanistan. They've been through wars, plural. They've been through, you know, like my dad, for instance, he's been through the Depression in the 70s, you know, where gas went up and there was you know, he's been, and, you know, he was in the military. So we've been, you know, older people have been through, you know, the wars, the depressions, the recessions. You know, they've been through all this stuff, the threat from other countries. They've been through all this stuff multiple times, and yet here we are, right? So I think older people have not that it's not scary and disturbing and hurtful and painful, but I think they just have this sense that we'll make it through because we've made it through a lot of things, where young people haven't been through a lot yet. And so it's super, super scary. It's super scary. Yeah. Right? And I'm a little bit older, only a little bit older than you.
Only a tiny
guys.
bit.
And I've been through more, right? I've been through the crash of 2008, you know, and, you know, and I was in business, and I've been through, you know, I've been through some things. But this feels different, and it does. And even though I've been through some things, you're right. It's scary. I had to turn the news off, and I don't want to be ignorant, but I want to keep up with what's going on. And it got really, 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 it got really heavy. Got really, really heavy for me. I was just feeling like great sadness, like with everything that's going on. So I think with the way of the world, you know, you see a lot more anxiety. You know, the pandemic alone caused people that, you know, that didn't have anxiety prior. Now have developed anxiety. People that did have anxiety going into the pandemic, maybe it got worse, right? So I think anxieties are at an all-time high, and that affects people. And then the industry's blowing up. I mean, there are, you know, a ton of new PMU artists hitting the streets, you know, every day. So the competition is there's just lots and lots and lots and lots of PMU artists in the same areas, same cities, trying to build their clientele. So yeah, it's just difficult. It's a difficult time. And then you wrap in bad training. You have a lot, that's an epidemic in this industry. A lot of people enter the industry, they spend thousands of dollars, and they don't get great training, and then they're just let go, kicked to the curb to go figure everything out on their own. So the struggle bus is really real today, maybe more so, than the past, with all these outside influences and variables going on that I'm talking about. And then again, combine that with how many PMU artists are licensed now, all over the place. And the public's a little bit smarter as well. I mean, they're more educated, and they're asking a lot more questions, and whatnot. Some of them want microblading, some of them want ombre. If you only do one procedure, then that eliminates a lot of the clientele. So it's just difficult. But you still, one thing that I talk about all the time is, and I mention this a lot, is don't downgrade your dreams to match your current reality. That's like huge for me. And I think we did a podcast a while back on dreams, and I talked about that a little bit. So if it's your dream to be a PMU artist and you feel that love for PMU in your body, that's what you want to do, and it, that's your dream. But your current reality is, your book's not full. You're struggling to get clients, your bank account's low, things like that. Maybe your skill level, your techniques are not where they want to be. You have to find a way to hang on to that dream. You don't downgrade your dream to match where you are currently. You have to keep that dream alive, and you have to do whatever it takes. You got to hustle, grind, be creative, innovative, and do whatever it takes within reason to achieve that dream, to make that dream come to fruition, right? And the first thing is probably just believing in yourself.
Yep.
Believing in yourself, right? I think the temptation to quit is the greatest just when you are about to succeed. I really do. Does that make sense to you?
Just when it starts to get harder.
Yeah, right.
That's because you're getting closer to the end.
That's right. The harder the struggle gets, if you can look at it this way, the harder the struggle gets, that means you're getting closer to having everything you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't get easier the closer you get to that dream coming to fruition. It doesn't get easier, and I think that's the misconception.
Yeah.
I think they think, well, it's just harder and harder and harder. It's been 18 months, it's been 3 years, and my book, and it's just getting harder and harder. Well, that's because you're getting closer and closer and closer to having the success you've always wanted for yourself. So it's almost like you have to appreciate the struggle, but we never, ever appreciate the struggle until we're successful, right? Never.
Yeah.
Ever. And it's not that the struggle ends. Like, people will look at me and they'll see me as successful. And I've been, and I am successful on a lot of different levels, but that doesn't mean that I don't have struggles in other areas, because I'm always trying to level up and do better, be better, create more, innovate more, be unique. So the struggle doesn't necessarily end once you reach success. It just changes. It just changes, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel. So, and I know, Willow, you struggled getting through college. We talked about this yesterday.
Yeah.
Right?
I struggled a lot.
You struggled a lot, and you didn't quit, and your struggle affected you mentally,
Yeah.
emotionally.
Yeah.
There was a financial struggle and burden, right? Like everybody else going to school, unless you have parents that, or family that can pay for it, or you earn a scholarship. And you didn't give up.
No, I thought about it. There was a couple times where I was in front of my dean's door, like ready to knock and just like call it quits right then. But there was always something that was telling me that I shouldn't do it, that like I would be telling my family who didn't think I could finish that they were right. So I had to almost prove it to myself that I could do it.
Right. Can we hear her, Olivia?
Yeah.
We can?
Yeah.
Okay, good. She's
Yeah, we
not-
put a mic on her.
Oh, we put a mic on her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people going through college, right? Like today's podcast doesn't apply just to like the PMU artists. It applies to many different people in many different aspects, of life. Like college, for one. I never even signed up for college, Willow, because at that time in my life, I didn't feel smart. I didn't think. I got C's and D's through high school, and I graduated high school believing I was not smart, and that I was just not college material. So why bother? That was my mindset back then. So, but I know a lot of people struggle with college, and so good for you. And you got your degree.
I did. I graduated summa cum laude. I was the top of my class, and I proved it to myself that I could do it, which at the end of the day was the most important thing. Like, it was great to be able to show like my dad that I did it, but it felt even better to know that I did it.
That
even
you
though
did it
everyone,
right. It's a sense of accomplishment,
Exactly.
and you end up proud of yourself. And you see what you're capable of, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you went through moments, like I've gone through moments in my career where you do start self-doubting, and is normal. It's just staying there, right?
Yeah.
That we can't allow, right? So it's like once you're able to pull yourself out of the self-doubt and take another step forward, and then another step forward, and you just keep going through the struggle, and you get to the end goal, and you get the reward for your college degree, I think it helps. I think it makes you stronger for the next challenge in your life. It prepares you, makes you stronger, and a little bit more prepared for the next goal/challenge in life. Because I think every goal we set for ourselves is met with challenges. So good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And now you're here.
I am.
At Girlz Inc. I know. It's great. I think it's important to stay committed to your direction, but flexible with your approach, if you will. Right? So committed to your direction. So Willow, yours was that college degree. Our Instagram girl we're talking about today. Today it was PMU. Stay committed to the direction, committed to what you want, but be flexible in your approach. Because if what you're doing is not getting you the results you want, then you have to be flexible to change it up and approach it differently, try different things to get you the results that you want. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's just, but it's true. Back to, like, I always tell people, what if everything you ever wanted is there, but you quit? It's always right there, right when you quit. That's just how it seems. And I think it's true. And then some people, they think if they're not getting there fast enough, right? Like speed. And there's a lot of that out there. Well, I got to do this. I got to do that. You know, I got licensed in PMU or esthetician. I got to do this. And I got to be a trainer. I got to have an online course. I got to, you know, all that. And they want to go really fast. And that can come back to bite you in the ass. Your direction is much more important than your speed. You know, you really definitely want to take your time, be calculating, learn everything in full as you go, and slowly, very calculating, work towards, you know, all these different things that you want to accomplish. When you try to do it all at once, you're just going to do nothing but overwhelm yourself, and then you can't nurture everything at once either, and you end up, you know, I think things suffer. I think you end up suffering, and your projects end up suffering because you're just so overwhelmed.